Hey viewers, my name's Cara. I'm your host for Tuesdays on the Pagan Perspective, and this week we're talking about the devil's relation with witchcraft. The questioner this week asked to remain anonymous. The text of their question will be in the description below. On the point of not being able to ignore the devil's connection with the craft, and if you practice witchcraft you are of the devil whether you like it or not, I disagree. On the point of seeing the devil as an evil being concerned with stealing souls and eternal damnation, I also disagree. The devil's connection with the craft is tenuous. It's a created one. I don't think I need to tell any of you the history of the character of the devil. That's what I believe. Many things were changed when Christianity was becoming a major religion, and people who followed the old ways were being made to change their practice. In that story, yes, the devil has a connection with the craft. And yes, some people worship the devil or work with the concept of the devil as a figure that symbolizes qualities they like, and which frankly are pretty great qualities, such as free will, individualism, wisdom, and so on. At least those are the qualities listed on the Wikipedia article as being associated with the devil in Christianity and Islam. And they are not bad qualities. Ever read the basic beliefs of the Church of Satan? There's some good stuff there. But I don't actually know a whole lot about Satanism as has been established in past videos. But yeah, I get that stuff. I get why some people associate with the concept or figure as a symbol. Is that inherently and unavoidably connected to witchcraft? No, I don't think so. The concept of the devil as an evil being concerned with stealing souls and eternal damnation didn't always exist. To me, the way it manifested in my life is as a Christian concept that has never taken root with me. Things like that are part of the reasons I knew that my family's faith wasn't for me. It's not something that is part of my path as a pagan. I feel no need for it. It isn't necessary in my worldview. Many pagans would probably say the same. A concept of the devil is not something that has to be part of paganism or witchcraft. I haven't come across anything exactly like the Christian Islamic concept of the devil in any other path, which tells me it's not a universal concept. There are similar things, such as demons. They also don't really have a big place in my path either, which I've also talked about before. And there are deities and figures with negative qualities, of course. There's positive and negative in all things, in all beings. There are myths of deities from all cultures that show both good and bad qualities of them. Even some of my favorite deities have a negative side in some myths. Very rarely are there figures of pure good and pure evil, such as the Abrahamic God and Satan. That's what Satan is supposed to be, I think, is if someone created a character that embodied pure evil with no good whatsoever. Except that even the stories of Ha-Satan, the accuser, the adversary, the tempter, don't even really paint a picture of a purely evil being. I just don't buy into that 100% good or bad thing. And that's what I think Satan represents for some people. Not all, probably. But to some people, on a basic level, that's what the devil is. Given the information that a person likes the devil as a concept and embraces the devil as an act of freedom or what have you, I do understand why a person would say that in their path, the devil is connected to their practice. For a lot of people, there is a connection in their personal path. However, I do not think it is fair or accurate to assert to everyone that all witchcraft is inherently associated with the devil and that we cannot separate from it. Of course we can. Saying that we can't is an awful lot like what witches have been accused of for years by people who don't like Satan and associate us with all that is evil, bad, and wrong. Whether you like the devil or not, whether you view him as positive or not, I don't believe it's accurate to define what role the devil plays in anyone's path but your own. What one person calls the devil could be recognized by someone else, but not have to have a personification. Things like free will and individualism, for example. And you can know that the concept exists without it being part of your path. Humans have created a lot of ideas and concepts that we know exist that don't have to play a role in our paths. It's like how some people worship one pantheon of deity while knowing that others exist. They're just not all part of everyone's individual path. Different paths can have ideas of negative energy without them being the devil or Satan. This discussion could go further into how these ideas differ based on whether you believe in the devil or even deity as a literal concept or as a symbolic one, whether demons are physical beings or internal concepts or energy forms, what you think evil is, and why that matters to your path, if it does at all. A lot of people recently have actually asked me about evil and related concepts, and it usually gets into me asking a lot of questions about what they think evil means, and what role it plays, and what would happen if it didn't exist, and why is it so important in the first place. But I'll not go into all that here. Everyone's belief is their own. No one's belief is going to be exactly the same as anyone else's. Any concept, any deity, figure, or whatever it is, may be involved in some paths and not in others. That's just part of the territory. We don't typically tell other people what they believe or require that we all believe the same way. The devil isn't really a thing in my path beyond a symbol on a tarot card. Demons aren't my thing either. Negative energy is a thing. It's a thing I don't lend power to when I can at all help it. I focus on the positive while recognizing that negative exists and has its place in the balance. But I don't personify that kind of thing. I don't name it. It's not like that for me. It's okay if it is for you. It's okay if it isn't. Your path is yours. Not mine. Not anybody else's. That's probably about the only thing I feel confident telling anyone else about their own path. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next month. And until then, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.